with Spider-Man.
This type of stuff always happens, man.
Neighborhood Geniuses. Brace yourself. Round one. Fight! I got you. All right.
I'm ready.
Oh, this person's running theirs on some jank setup. They're definitely running on some jank setup.
I'm ready.
Round two. Fight!
A wise decision. I warned you. There's no escape. You are outmatched. Here we go. You got it. Help's on the way. Not yet. I warned you.
Here I go.
Oh, nice.
Here we go. You got it. Spider shoot.
Spider shoot.
Still going. You never know when to give up.
Assemble. Round three. Fight!
Good.
What?
All right. I got you.
Can you match proportionate spider speed?
Do you block? You on low? You on a bad connection and you still don't block?
Whoa! It's
Winner. Player one. We've got a high-profile match coming up. In the orange corner, with Spider-Man. At the lead, Neighborhood Geniuses! In the blue corner, with Black Panther. Here are Wakanda Geniuses! Let's see who's got Lady Luck on their side. The heat's rising and sparks are about to fly. I got you. Come on. All right. All right.
Wait, what? What?
Yeah, I do have to be
Hey,
somewhere in the next
Wakanda forever.
5 years.
Not stand around before.
I got you. Yeah, I do have to be
Hey.
somewhere in
Why is that different?
Consumes you.
Come on! All right! All right! All right! All right! Come on! I got you! Come on! All right! Come on! Come on! All right! Come on! Come on!
Is it because she's shaped different?
Hey, Wakanda forever. Not stand around before they fight forever.
All right!
We'll get away with this.
It's the same dude.
We've got a... Brace yourself. Round one. Fight!
All right! Out of the way! Come on! Look at this!
Okay. Okay, let's go.
Don't let up! I'll rise! Steal your... I will fight on! Yes! Let's keep ready when you are!
Round two.
What's up, Revert? What's up, Tony? Tony? Reverton YouTube? Looks like Tony at the end of the day.
I warned you! Steal yourself! Come on! It's not over. We won't let you. No biggie. Metallic might. Feel my might. Not working. I got you. What? Oh, this is my power. Now you
I think I was supposed to go to block that.
found you.
Here I go.
KO. Excellent.
Whenever you wish.
Round three. Fight!
Come on! Sorry about this! On your knees!
One track mind.
Here I go.
No biggie! Oops! Well, that was a mistake! It's not over!
No, I didn't mean to do that.
I'm here. No.
A wise decision.
My turn.
Excellent.
Your loss is inevitable.
Symbol. Ready to go. Round four.
Leave this to me!
I'm fine.
Metallic might! Pathetic! Come on! I got you! might. I'll show back.
No fighting.
Metallic might.
No fighting.
All right, you're predictable. For the future of mutant.
Before we fought, I wondered. But now,
What's the game? This is Marvel Tokon. Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls.
Brace yourself. Round one. Fight!
I'm fine.
You need my help. You cannot resist. No biggie. Come on. There's no escape. Patel. Come on. Yes, let's keep this up. I'm with you.
Round two. Fight!
Magneto control.
Whenever you wish.
You lack determination. Not working. Shrapnel. Come on. Excuse me. All right. It's not over. No. Steal yourself. Look at this. Come on.
Whip.
Amazing. Hope's turn now.
Round three. Fight!
All right. Fire and shoot. I will fight on. I'm so excited. How can this be? Get back. Good. Not happy. I'm so excited. Not bad. You cannot bring that. No use. Curse it. No use. I don't expect it. You're predictable. Close. Metallic might. Prepare yourself. They can't handle this. Excuse me. Come on. You're predictable. Steal yourself. No biggie. I summon your demise. No biggie. Wait and see. Not happy. I am wrapped. Can we talk? I summon your pathetic. Come on. You lack determination. Not working. Metallic might. You will pay.
Ready whenever.
It's not over. How so
I'll follow through.
KO! Excellent! Round four. Fight!
Get back!
Perfect reflex!
All with you. Metallic up now. Steel yourself. Then shrapnel spike. Ride all you want.
I'm here.
Steel yourself. Shrapnel spike.
Not bad.
Shrapnel spike. You are outmatched.
KO! Excellent!
Yes.
Final round! Fight!
I got you. I will fight on. All right. I will fight on. You lack determination.
Not working.
There's no. I won't.
Here I go.
Metallic weed. Come on.
Here I go.
Fire and shoot.
I got you.
Eat wet.
Future of mutant.
Do you feel bad that I beat you with my high school science project?
Winner! Player 2!
Ugh. Trying to call assists feels so awkward.
Our next matchup in the Challenge of the Champion tournament is led by Spider-Man. This team's got some serious power. Enter Neighborhood Geniuses! Led by Black Panther. They're here to try for the trophy. Enter Wakanda!
Neighborhood geniuses and Wakanda geniuses.
Oh man, I'm getting sleepy.
Hey, has fear consumed you?
Hello? Fighting, remember?
I scalp donuts.
What you know about that right there? See, this was the weak ass memory card. This was the memory card when you was.
Oh my god, man.
Yeah, I do have to be somewhere. in
New
the next
update finally fixed
5
Marvel
years.
Tokon. Everybody trying to bring people back to PC, man.
Hey, Wakanda forever. Not stand around before they fight forever.
CEO postmortem.
Oh man, I'm getting sleepy.
Hey, has fear consumed you?
The absurdity of Spider-Man Unlimited. I did not like Spider-Man Unlimited. I did not like this.
Spider-Man Unlimited is arguably the weirdest Spider-Man adaptation of all time.
I don't know what the neighborhood Spider-Man they just threw neighborhood Spider-Man out the window, and they're like Spider-Man in space.
Arguably, written as a loose follow-up to Spider-Man the Animated Series of the 90s, and I do mean loose, this series took an entirely different approach to telling a Spidey story. I would argue that the show nearly feels like it was written as an entirely different show with its own characters and lore, and then they decided to just drop Spidey and a few recognizable Spider-Man characters into the mix. Now there's no evidence that this is what they did, but it does kind of feel like it. And that isn't necessarily a criticism either, because while it is absolutely an anomaly in the long list of Spider-Man animated series, it has a ton of charm and some really interesting
Bro.
Plus, we're about to see this version of Spidey again in the upcoming Across the Spider-Verse film. Wild times. So, join me
Did they?
into the absurdity of Spider-Man Unlimited. Spider-Man Unlimited had a very tumultuous pre-production, one in which the concept of
Probably
the
make it
series
like a
shifted
really
around
small
multiple
cameo.
times. You would think that after the success of Spider-Man the Animated Series, and with that series ending on a cliffhanger, you'd do a proper follow-up, and while this is technically a follow-up, it doesn't exactly feel like it. But even before they landed on the premise, there were different ideas in play. Initially, it was meant to be a low-budget adaptation of the first 26 issues of the original run of the Amazing Spider-Man comic books. However, with Sony and Marvel's production of Sam Raimi's Spider-Man film in the works, they were barred from adapting these stories and couldn't even use the original Spidey suit for the duration of the show. After this, they even toyed with the idea of doing a Spider-Man 2099 adaptation.
Can we get this suit?
Which is especially interesting given Miguel's
Can we get
prominence in the
Spider-Man
upcoming Across the
2099
Spider-Verse film and the inclusion of Spider-Man Unlimited in that movie.
in this game?
However, they opted against this story and instead
In
crafted a
Tokon?
new narrative far away from the original comics run set on a parallel world called Counter-Earth. The initial idea for their Counter-Earth story was that on Counter-Earth, Uncle Ben had never died, and therefore that Earth's Peter Parker did not have the moral fortitude to resist the symbiote suit, eventually becoming Venom. So when our Peter arrives and tries to meet up with Counter Peter, he's actually met with the antagonist of the entire series. And honestly, to me, this idea sounds great. Potentially exploring Peter through a parallel version who has faltered, years before Spider-Verse, mind you. And even the idea of Uncle Ben being a supporting character, this just had a ton of potential if you ask me. I really love the way writer-producer Will Munio described this arc for Peter. Dealing with the Counter-Earth Spidey/Venom was intended to be the main subplot, and by the end, Peter would have gone home with the knowledge that the hardships of his origin had made him the good man he'd become. Sounds like some quality Spider-Man to me. However, the folks at Marvel panicked because of the poor reception of the Clone Saga in the comic books and forbid them from doing a series with multiple Peter Parkers, which, yes, is very stupid, especially now given the success of Spider-Verse and No Way Home. So after adjusting and adapting their ideas to remove the parallel Parker, they landed on the story that we all know and love, or at least the one that some of us have seen. Interestingly, while the 90s animated series used a combination of digital ink and cell animation, this series switched entirely to cell animation. The style is notably different, and there's a lot of charm. I particularly love the way it uses pitch black for the shadows and shading on characters. It gives some of it almost a blacklight poster vibe. It's cool. The series premiered in October 1999, and over the next 2 weeks aired 3 total episodes. However, due to struggling ratings compared to rival shows, they ended up shelving the series and relaunching it about a year later in late 2000, this time airing all 13 episodes. The series
they did that?
Cooler.
I didn't even know they
edgier
did
than
that.
the previous animated series, and the title sequence really highlights this with a synthy, futuristic new theme song and some pretty stylish visuals. The 2-part premiere, titled Worlds Apart, opens revealing John Jameson's plan to use a warp drive to travel to the newly discovered Counter-Earth.
There, Alita discovered an exact duplicate of our world, the Counter-Earth.
It's also described as being on the far side of the sun. They don't really go into any further detail explaining why an exact duplicate of Earth exists within the solar system, or why it requires a warp drive to reach the
on the far side of
but
the sun.
that's what
Yeah,
they're
okay.
doing. We'll get more into the exact duplicate nature of Counter-Earth later, because it gets kind of wild. As John Jameson takes off in his shuttle, Venom and Carnage stow away on board, and Peter jumps into action to attempt to stop them. This is the single moment in Unlimited where we hear the previous iconic Spidey theme.
What
could possibly be?
Interestingly, Venom and Carnage are both shown to have entirely new abilities, appearing to have no host bodies at all.
Hey, you two could never morph like that before.
It's revealed later that they are still using Brock and Cassidy's bodies, but the way they turn entirely into pure symbiote goo definitely had me confused for a minute. So Spidey is unable to stop the symbiote duo, they board the ship, and John calls for help before going through the portal. And with Spidey floating back down to Earth, as you might expect, Jonah Jameson blames the entire thing on Spider-Man and puts out a $10 million reward to identify or capture him. Wild. The thing that cracked me up here is that the entire city really does turn on Spider-Man. Dude couldn't even save a cat from a tree without getting maced. He saves a woman and her baby from falling to their death, and firefighters immediately turn their hoses on, and he still saves one of their lives. I do think this aspect is a pretty solid setup for the series. It plays off a lot of the Spidey tropes we've come to love and expect, that being Spider-Man is an absolutely thankless job. For Peter, doing the right thing is not often
That just
rewarded.
doesn't make any sense, though.
Immediately reaches
That just
boiling
absolutely
point
doesn't make any
as the
sense.
series premise.
We talking
And
the
the
failed
world actually
Spider-Man,
doesn't believe
Shippuden?
Spidey died in
Yeah.
firefighting,
This is why-
which gives
I was
the
watching this because I was just like, I remember this, and I remember it being so ass, and I was just like, why did they do this?
A sick new suit.
This year's fully loaded model features nanotechnology,
Like,
discreetly borrowed from the lab of Reed Richards.
A nice Reed Richards name drop. Plus, as it turns out, this.
Like, I feel like the suit could. I feel like the suit's not ass,
Thanks,
but like,
man, I do love.
I think the suit's cool, but the whole show
Spider-Man suits ever.
sucks.
Spidey hijacks another shuttle
whole
with
show
slight
sucks.
resistance from a jetpack sporting Nick Fury, and he heads to counter Earth. They do a good job table setting Peter's departure from Earth for the most part, and though the series is about to fly off the rails into entirely new territory, it's still rooted in Spidey as a character.
It goes hard on mute.
MJ. Great power is great responsibility.
There are some really gorgeous shots of Peter approaching counter Earth, but this is where it truly starts to feel like he's thrust into
He'll be a good AMV.
entirely. His ship is tractor beamed.
They said they aired 3 episodes in 2 weeks,
These guys.
and then they stopped, and then they picked it up 2 years later. I think they said 2 years later or a couple years later they aired all 13 episodes, which I didn't know they did that. It was probably on like
beings called Bestials.
on like
These 4 knights being
it wasn't on Fox Kids. I know that.
There's a
It was on one of those other, like, probably like
Ram
JetX
dude
or
named
something.
Sir Ram, and this woman named Lady Vermin, who they say is a rat lady, but like, where's the rat? And she's super into Spidey too.
We should not do battle, stranger, for you are most fair to Lady Vermin's eyes.
And you are most
Snoo.
Honestly, I love it when an antagonist is horned up for Spidey, so I'm glad they kept this trope even in this unusual setting. Speaking of unusual setting, I really like the sequence where Spidey recognizes
Death by
how different Counter-Earth
Snoo.
actually is, bouncing off of hover cars in traffic, realizing everyone is an animal person.
What is this? The Manhattan Island of Dr. Moreau?
Honestly, this is one of the best Spidey quips I have ever heard in my life. Incredible stuff. Eventually, Spidey is captured by the Knights of the Wundagore, and man, I do not understand how these dudes live in Manhattan and talk like this.
But be he human or bestial, 'tis certain that he is a
Tis certain.
But then we're introduced to the real series antagonist, the High Evolutionary, though not in
Oh.
person. But this is the exact stuff I'm talking about when I say
Oh.
this feels like a separate franchise that Spidey was dropped into. Everything about how these people speak, their goals, their ridiculously over-designed armor, it feels like a different show. And maybe that was intentional. Spidey is a fish out of water after all, so maybe they were trying to convey that to the audience as blatantly as possible. That being said, the entire bestial idea is the biggest ask as an audience member, at least for me. I know that's silly coming from
It being
someone
the
who
High
also talks
Evolutionary
about
being the reason why
but
there's a
I
bunch of
think it has
beast
more to do
people
with the way it's
makes
implemented
sense.
into the already existing Spidey world and lore. Counter Earth being an exact duplicate that is simply on the far side of the sun is already a funny premise, but that same Counter Earth being filled with anthropomorphic animal people is kind of a hat on a hat, right? It's a shame they didn't make this show after the rise of online furry culture, because it probably would have gotten like 6 seasons. And
What the
unfortunately, the entire beast.
it actually makes sense. I didn't know the guy was a High Evolutionary.
Apparently came to this planet
They-
seeking utopia. They don't say where he came from, just that he came here seeking utopia and was disappointed that all he found was the same war and conflict that he was used to.
To have my paradise, I would have to build it myself.
I would have to.
Apparently, the
If you want it done right,
perfect
do it
system
yourself.
Animal-human hybrids of the high evolutionary design. He claims they're stronger and better and free from the problems created by humans without really elaborating on why. But I guess they have built this crazy futuristic city, so there's that. But this
As a kid, I didn't know who High Evil was,
exact duplicate.
so this was lost on me. Same.
But obviously, the
Same.
entire conflict in this
I'm just saying it makes sense now why there was a bunch of beast people, because I didn't know about the High Evolutionary until whatchamacallit, Guardians of the Galaxy. That's when I found out about High Evolutionary.
There are three main rebels other than John, and the show actually does eventually give them all
I had no idea
backstories. There's
about him
Karen
either.
O'Malley, the most normal named rebel, Daniel Bromley, who just goes by Bromley, and of course, Git Hoskins. After being experimented on as a kid, Git now looks like a mummy, but he has complete control over his bandages, almost Mr. Fantastic style. A real
What
ragtag
the
group, if I do say
hell?
so
Okay,
myself.
that doesn't
Somehow,
make any
all led
sense.
by John Jameson, who
What?
came to Counter very recently. Not sure how he secured that gig. I did like how skeptical Jameson was that this was actually Spidey though, which leads to this question, and in my opinion, a potentially big problem that they conveniently wrote around.
Who's the punk photographer that always gets those great pictures of you for the Daily Bugle?
Peter Parker.
Okay, the problem here is that by the end of these first two episodes, Peter is now
Parker.
living on Counter Earth in the basement. He ends up having multiple mutual friends.
The art style, isn't it? It's
and
not.
living with one of them. All it would
It's
have
not.
taken
I did
is a
like his
character
suit,
mentioning Peter
but, like,
a single time, and Jameson
going
would have been able
from
to figure out that
animated
he's
Spider-Man
Honestly,
to
maybe he
this
should have. There are
was
few
a
episodes where
jarring
it's very
change.
convenient that it isn't
It was
brought
a
up or
jarring
revealed.
change. It was just like,
Very
what do you
lucky to
mean?
run into him on the
What
street.
is?
So the
Why
other
is
players
Spider-Man
in
in
this season
space,
are, of course,
and
Venom
why do
Carnage,
Carnage
who came to Counter Earth to fulfill their
and
own
Venom
symbiote-related
look
battle
like they
plan.
look?
Temporarily removed
Why they look
Shuri,
like
but really
that?
only to further their own scheme. I gotta say, while I do mostly like Venom's design in the show, I kind of hate Carnage.
I don't
He was
like
so cool
either
in
one
comics
of
and in
them.
Previous animated series, but in this they make him this big, angular, lumbering skeleton thing. Honestly, it kind of reminds me of those gigantic.
They look like
posters.
neon
Not
lamps.
really a fan, but those are most of the major players in the battle for Counter Earth, save for a couple important ones. Who
Apparently,
we'll see later. And they wrap up the two-part premiere introducing.
They
us
still
to the
use
important players
Brock
who
and
Peter
Cassidy's
first
bodies, they said in this thing,
Peter saves a kid named
but they just,
Shane
for
from
whatever
the
reason,
evolutionary
can turn
system
into
robots, and
symbiote
his
goo
mother,
with their
adopted
bodies still
Yoko, treats
inside the
Peter
symbiote.
ends up staying with them
Like, they
during
just
the time
did
of Counter
stuff
Earth,
for no
and
reason in
great
this show.
genuine bond with them both. This gets pretty interesting.
They're like,
later,
let's just
but
let's
we'll
just
get
do
to
some
it.
different
So,
stuff.
as you
Let's
may have
just do
noticed,
it.
talking
Let's just
through
do
the
it for
very
no
beginning of
reason.
the series required a lot of description and recap. Usually, when we talk about these Spider-Man series, we're talking about characters, scenarios,
Yo, Iron
stories,
Man.
and lore that we're all mostly
God.
familiar with in one way or another. It's usually just about how they adapted elements we already know.
I used to love
But this
like
is one of
Iron
the
Man and
most
Spider-Man,
unusual
two favorite
Spidey shows
superheroes.
because the vast majority of the story is
Two
new
favorite
territory,
Marvel
new planets,
superheroes.
new characters, new species, new lore.
Because my two favorite
Completely
DC
unfamiliar. It can
superheroes
actually
would be
really
Green Lantern and The
exciting from an
Flash.
audience perspective, but it also means I do have to do a lot more table setting to talk about the show compared to other Spider-Man series. In fact, the only characters who show up regularly that actually come from the Spider-Man
Also,
stories
Spider-Man
we know
and
are
His
Peter
Amazing
himself,
Friends,
John
1981
Jameson,
was
Venom,
still
and
airing
Carnage. Now, there will be a
reruns,
few
so
more
that was all
familiar villains
confusing.
coming up, but they're all
I don't
Counter-Earth
think I
based
ever
universe.
saw Spider-Man and His
Different
Amazing
characters
Friends
But now that
back
we've set
then.
the table, talking through the rest of the
Like
series
I
shouldn't
think I
be quite
may have
so
seen an
obvious.
episode or
And while it
two,
was
but
a lot
I never
of
saw
the
like the
premiere
whole
episodes
series. I've
did do an
only
effective
I
job
only
setting
ever
the
watched
stakes and establishing countless new characters
the
and
animated
concepts.
series.
I also really dig
The
when
90s
series
one.
uses these comic book panel chirons.
Three different series confuses the hell out of me.
Locations. Such a simple idea that is super effective and helps convey the comic booky nature of the series really well. The first time I watched this show, it was shortly after finishing the 90s animated series.
Yo, he was
so it took me a
buff.
bit to get used
He
to Rino
was
Romano's take
buff
on Peter
in the-
Parker,
in
but
the
more I
animated
watched the
series,
show, the more I
dog.
really grew to appreciate his performance. I
He
think
was
makes a really
grown
solid
man
Peter
buff
and
in the
Spidey.
animated
Crazy
series.
enough, Reno would go on to play Bruce Wayne / Batman a few years later in the animated series The Batman. Are there any other voice actors who have played both Peter Parker and Bruce Wayne? What a resume.
Oh,
I did
snap.
laugh pretty hard
I didn't know
at the
that.
opening of the third episode. In the end of the second episode,
I probably
Batman
would have
tells Peter he
watched
can
The
stay with them
Batman
rent-free for a couple of
if
weeks until he gets on his feet, and then and immediately
I watched the Batman anime series. I used to love Batman as a child,
angry about the rent.
but then like I don't know what happened. I just stopped liking Batman. I just like I just don't really like Batman all that much.
Which sets the stage for what
But I had a birthday. I had a Batman birthday party when I was a child, dog, and
has its own goblin.
I had like a Batman nightlight in the middle of the cake.
I actually really love this version of the character. He's maybe slightly over-designed like some of the other original characters.
Batman corn chips, Batman everything.
Much more charming, and giving him wings rather than a glider fits in with the whole bestial aspect of Counter-Earth really well. But he's got a very fun personality and the sort of reluctant team-up aspect of
Batman was super cool, very different, weird. I always will appreciate DC villains as a whole, as opposed to Marvel.
Goblin, and this goblin
it's opposed to Marvel.
Because he looks
oh wait, you said DC villains.
You're not with Venom and Carnage. You're a
no Marvel villains, like you don't like Thanos. You don't like
Spidey has to reluctantly
Green Goblin
over the series, and it's just a dynamic that
not this Green Goblin
is probably my favorite of all of them. They have some really quality back and forth banter. However, one of the weirder quirks is that this Green Goblin like just sort of throws out random pop culture quotes.
It's not easy being green. Hidey-ho, Nemorinos. Rumors of my demise are greatly exaggerated.
So, to recap, those quotes are Kermit the Frog, Ned Flanders, and Mark Twain. Does this imply that the Muppets, The Simpsons, and an alternate version of Mark Twain all exist on Counter-Earth? Or is this guy just like the weirdest wordsmith to ever exist? But regardless, Goblin's few appearances are a genuine highlight of Spider-Man Unlimited. It's a really
they just hanging out,
and I really dug the action when he and Spidey team up. This early sequence where Spidey
he teamed Green Goblin teamed up with Spider-Man only in this show and in Marvel Tokon.
I also really liked the very
Green Goblin can team up with Spider-Man and Marvel Tokon.
Jones, Shane's father, and Naoko's ex-husband. Though this was never explicitly realized within the text of the show, it was very
they're more anti-hero than villains in Marvel.
Immediately more familiar with both Naoko and Shane than you'd expect. Plus there's this line at the end of the episode after they save Naoko who says she hopes that she sees him again.
I hope so too. My love.
I mean, I guess I can see that.
Yeah, if this isn't Hector, he's just creepy. There are actually a couple of Spidey Unlimited comics, and one of them contradicts this, saying Shane's father is actually a bestial.
Is that a bad thing, though?
But I don't think we can consider those canon because it is so painfully obvious that the series was setting up the Hector Goblin reveal. And it's a genuine shame they never got further with that either, because I think the whole Peter, Naoko, Hector triangle could have been really interesting. Peter's relationship with Shane and Naoko was an aspect of Unlimited that really worked for me, for the most part. The way both Naoko and Shane slowly started to respect Peter was really well done. Initially, Naoko didn't trust Peter would be able to get her the rent, and Shane actually pretty vocally called him a wuss when they reminisced about how Spidey saved Naoko from the symbiotes.
Yeah, you called the police. It's okay, Peter. You wanted to help.
And obviously, this is a common Spidey problem. Peter disappears because he has to help as Spidey, so people think that Peter is a coward.
I can't believe you're such a coward. Running off like that.
No, not at all. Just have reasons and logic for the things they do. DC villains are just villains.
Both come around on Peter.
I told you he wasn't a coward.
So you're like DC villains are like,
and Peter
I'm gonna destroy the world, and then like Marvel villains are like, I'm gonna destroy the world because you made me angry when I was a child.
But if I'm being honest, it also feels like a bit of a missed opportunity.
You didn't talk to me when I was a kid. Now I'm gonna destroy everything.
Even attracted to Naoko, the series also places MJ back on Earth waiting for Peter, and obviously
Mr. Sinister and Apocalypse are villains. They're evil as hell.
Somehow for this series, because one of the majorly important aspects of any Spidey media is that they have to show him truly struggle to balance his personal life and his superhero life. And to me, the highest stakes instances of this are always related to Peter's love life. How does Peter fumble the bag because of his great responsibility? And while there certainly are aspects of this in his relationship with Naoko and Shane, I think if they had been able to fully embrace a romantic relationship, it would have increased the stakes significantly. Instead, they sort of have this half in the bag situation where Peter and Naoko definitely have feelings for each other, but because of a character on another planet that literally only appeared in the pilot episode, they can't fully explore a romance. It actually
oh my god!
Embraced the end of Spider-Man the Animated Series, where Peter
he's like, yo, look, listen, she back home, she not gonna get here. You know, I need some cheeks while I'm here on the other planet. You know what I'm saying?
Solar system with him. I mean,
so while we here, we gonna do things here, but when I leave,
really well for Spider-Man. Though there are
we gotta cut it off.
Where they played the existing circumstances pretty well.
Don't worry, MJ.
MJ.
Sorry, my mistake.
But ironically, I also felt they stayed too true to other aspects of Spidey's mainstays where they could have afforded to differentiate themselves on Counter-Earth, particularly that they just have Peter continue to take photos of Spider-Man for a living, even on this entirely different planet. I guess it was just initially a little bit of a stretch for me that Spidey would show up and immediately be the most in-demand photos in Counter New York. Enough so
Why
that
he's
Peter can
stressing?
make an entire living on it. And I guess this isn't all that implausible, but straight up replacing a character as iconic as Jonah Jameson in the exact same role is not an easy task.
$100 a piece, final offer.
Mr. Mineo, do you mind if I call you JJ?
They actually named.
Do you mind if I call you JJ?
Unlimited's lead producer Will Munio, which is a
Like,
fun
bro,
inside
stop.
joke, but I cannot pretend the character is even remotely as memorable as Jonah Jameson. It makes me think more than anything that maybe they should have found a new angle for Peter's employment while on Counter-Earth, especially because this was just another way Peter should have been easily figured out by John Jameson. Peter's name is in the paper under every picture of Spider-Man. I mean, come on. Or if they're committed to the photography gig, just use more direct parallel characters on Counter-Earth, like they initially planned with Counter Peter. Just throw an alternate Jonah into the mix. That could have also made for some interesting drama with John Jameson. Though ultimately, I do really enjoy the alternate Spidey villains that are parallel without being the exact same characters. I already brought up Goblin, but there are also Kraven, Vulture, and Electro parallels that all sort of do their own thing. Counter-Earth Kraven is simply known as the Hunter and probably has the least unique spin on any of these parallel villains.
He don't even
Still has
look
a very
like the other
solid
bull.
design. He basically works as a mercenary for anyone who will hire him, including Bestials and the High Evolutionary. And as you'd expect, he's tasked with capturing Spider-Man. Electro is a bit more fun. The one example of a parallel villain who is actually a Bestial, though they don't ever fully vocalize what he is. My initial thought is that he's a literal electric eel, which would be
True.
dope, but he's kind of
That's what I was thinking. I was about to say salamander, but I was like, nah, what is it? Eel. Yeah, he looks like an eel.
A unique Counter-Earth backstory that I actually enjoyed. And like Goblin, this version is actually more of a hero than a villain. Vulture grew up a rich kid. So rich that the other Bestial kids were cool hanging with him. But his actual best friend was a kid named Cliff, the son of his family's housekeeper. But while hanging around with the Bestials, they would regularly...
Why he slap his coins into the thing like that?
Cliff's house on fire.
For no reason.
Changed my life. I vowed to do everything I could to stop human suffering.
Though, I gotta say, Spidey is absolutely in full hypocrite mode talking to Vulture about this crime fighting here. Like, how did he even get these words out seriously?
A lot of folks feel strongly about something, but they don't take it to the streets.
Really, Spidey? You're gonna lecture someone about taking things to the streets? So much for great responsibility. Actually, if I'm being honest, there are a handful of moments in this show that rub me the wrong way in terms of Spidey's motivations. He sticks around to help Jameson and the rebels, but if Jameson
take it to the
streets,
streets,
Spidey would 100% have left Counter-Earth.
Look, John, there's nothing I'd like better than to see the Beasties take a nosedive, but this isn't our fight.
I feel like what they were going for is the idea that being so far from home in such an unfamiliar place really challenges...
This is Spider-Man Far From Home, isn't it?
In regard to with great power comes great responsibility, which is an idea I like fine on paper. I just wish they had shown more of a complete growth cycle, for Peter to come around and realize that he's wrong. Because as is, there are just a series of moments like these where Spider-Man is acting very un-Spider-Man-like. There's even a perfect moment where they could have shown Spidey's epiphany. In the 9th episode of the season, Peter actually gets an opportunity to take his ship back to Earth. He nearly leaves Counter-Earth, but unfortunately he can't board the ship in time and uses his webbing to alter its course and basically 9/11 the High Evolutionary's technodrome-looking base. But
that's crazy.
Like a missed opportunity
that's
for Peter
crazy.
to have actually made the decision to sacrifice his ability to go home so that he can continue to help Counter-Earth. As it stands, it plays out like it was his only real option, but this could have been a situation that brings his crisis of great responsibility to a close in a very satisfying way. But there are a couple of truly great episodes that showcase Peter embracing great responsibility. The first that I absolutely love is the 5th episode, Steel Cold Heart, where Peter meets one of the High Evolutionary's sentry robots called X-51, who's malfunctioning after being in service for over 20 years. Peter recognizes that X-51 has a higher level of sentience than the other robots.
Please, help.
You might be a glorified toaster, pal, but there's one request I can't turn down.
I love that Peter treats X-51 like a person, even when others won't. Jameson wants to trade him in exchange for Bromley, but Peter even stands up to his own allies to do what's right.
Hey, ground control to Major John. X-51 is not a thing, he's a person.
And after X-51...
He's not a thing, he's a person.
I
owe you an apology, Spider-Man.
It's not me you should be apologizing to, John. It's X51.
This is what I like to see out of
You should be apologizing to ChatGPT. He's not a thing. ChatGPT is not a thing. It's a person.
I like that their little ragtag group of rebels slowly grows as the season progresses. But the absolute crown jewel of Spider-Man Unlimited episodes is One is the Loneliest Number. Not only an incredible Spidey story, but an incredible Eddie Brock story. When Bestials steal the Venom symbiote from Brock, Eddie nearly dies and Spidey has to help him.
But you're not Venom, are you? You're a human being.
But because of how thoroughly Eddie bonded with the symbiote, he actually needs it to survive. So the dilemma Spidey finds himself in is that in order to do the right thing and save Brock, he has to ensure the survival of one of his greatest enemies and threats.
But I can't sit back and watch a man die. Not even you, Eddie.
But the lengths that Peter goes to maintain that responsibility and save Eddie are what make this an even greater story. After securing the symbiote, Peter realizes that it cannot survive for long without a human host. So, in order to get it back to Eddie before it perishes, he dons the black costume for the first time in years, acting as the symbiote's life support. And Eddie's half of the story is incredible as well, as Naoko and Shane actually appeal to Eddie's humanity. And
that's
though he's
cool.
dying, his sweeter side comes out through his interactions with Naoko and Shane.
You know, for a minute there, I was starting to like feeling human again.
Eddie actually ends up accepting his impending death, happy that he's going to die a human and not be consumed by the symbiote again. Unfortunately, Carnage has other plans, but Eddie was fully willing to die even with the symbiote in front of him, the last chance to save his life.
No! I want to stay Eddie Brock! Whatever.
I want to stay Eddie Brock!
Honestly, one of my favorite Venom stories ever. And ultimately, Eddie is the other character in this episode to showcase great responsibility. In order to save Naoko and Shane, he re-merges with the symbiote, even though it means giving up his chance to die with dignity, to die as Eddie Brock. We've seen stories where Eddie gets redemption as Venom and sacrifices himself before, but the idea that Eddie has to sacrifice his own humanity to help the people he cares about, to give up his own dignity and become Venom again, even though it's the last thing he wants, that is an amazing Venom story. Eddie
They stole that man's killer wheelchair.
And his great responsibility. This episode, in my mind, justifies this entire series' existence. One of my favorite animated episodes of Spidey that I've ever seen. But overall, there were a lot of issues with Unlimited that kept it from truly shining for me. The buy-in for the entirely new world, the Bestials in general, a slew of new unfamiliar side characters that were only occasionally interesting, and, in my opinion, a very lackluster main antagonist. While each of the three major Rebel characters, Git Hoskins, Daniel Bromley, and Karen O'Malley, all got some decently fleshed out backstories eventually, none of them really felt all that compelling outside of the episodes devoted to their histories. Git's backstory was tragic, Bromley had a tumultuous history with his brother, and Karen's ultimate blood connection to the High Evolutionary. These were all interesting, but none of them made me really connect to the characters on a level that I'd have liked. Occasionally, the Knights of Wundagore had some compelling character traits. I particularly liked Lord Tiger, who seemed to think for himself about each individual situation, and never went along with the other Knights' plan just because. Lady Vermin's flirtations with Spidey were fun too, but there's not all that much more to it. And sadly, outside of one great Venom episode, the symbiote's overarching story did not do much for me either. Though I expect that had we eventually seen more in regards to the Synoptic and its plan to further expand the symbiote hive mind, this maybe could have been interesting. And of course, the saddest of all, the series ends on a brutal cliffhanger, as symbiotic spores launch out of Counter-Earth, threatening to end all life on the planet. And that is literally how the series ends. Damn, how many of these Spider-Man cartoons just end on cliffhangers? Can somebody finish a damn Spider-Man story? Ultimately, I do think Spider-Man Unlimited was a very cool experiment that didn't entirely pay off. I'm glad it exists, there are some great stories in here, but I can see the groundwork for better stories laying beneath some that ended up feeling lackluster. I think that writer Will Munio's quote about his time on the show sums up exactly why this didn't quite work. I got to work with some great people, and there are some nice action sequences in some of the episodes, but I wish we could have done the real Spider-Man as originally planned. And that's the main change I would have liked, just being allowed the honor of doing a straightforward adaptation of the books I loved as a kid. I think that's hard to argue with. And even after they were denied this, they
I guess if they weren't allowed to,
with an antagonist
and he wanted to make a Spider-Man thing, that's probably, you know,
due to Marvel's own
it is what it is.
of what the fans wanted. And
but, you know, as a kid, I don't know that.
Handing the show on a cliffhanger,
it's only nowadays that we find out, you know, why things are the way they are for the most part.
It seems like the
before it was just like something happened, this came out, and it was just like, what the hell is this? Why are y'all doing this?
To make something they believed in. And that is a shame, because there was some very creative and satisfying work done on Spider-Man Unlimited. And while I do think it's likely going to just be a relatively small cameo, it's kind of
that is cool that Spider-Man Unlimited is in
the Across the Spider-Verse.
Across the Spider-Verse.
I don't think we should expect anything,
or at least as a
but
cameo.
It's cool to know that this series' legacy lives on.
Johnny!
The new Spider-Man animated series. What? You didn't see that one. Across the Spider-Verse is almost perfect. Tragedy of the Spectacular Spider-Man. That was 30 minutes. I feel like it was so much longer than 30 minutes. Can Batman survive Marvel Tokon Supers and Ultimates? I think my wife bought me a booster box, but I don't know when it's supposed to get here. I need friends and people who are new to Riftbound and want to play on Rift Atlas. I need people who want to get into Riftbound, like new players, because I'm new. I've only finished one Riftbound match, and it would be cool to be able to make a Riftbound application that is like Convoke. This is Convoke. Convoke is for Magic the Gathering. Create or join matches with players around the world. Choose your format and start playing. It's for Magic the Gathering. I want them to make this for all the TCGs that exist out there in the world. Convoke versus Spell Table. 1080p Convoke. AI card recognition. Yes. Convoke uses a custom trained AI model that has constantly improved with new data. Digital cards support. Search for a card or token and drag it to your video feed. A digital version of the card will appear. That's cool. Spectator mode. No. View card rulings. Deck list import. Reveal hand to specific players. Share deck with other players. Max players per game. Friends list. Command block players. Player turn timer clock. Dude, is I don't know how I'm gonna do this. How can I get people into... My dog says hi. Tell him I said what's up. Arf. How do I'm trying to... I need people that want to play and get into Riftbound, or that are trying to get into Riftbound, like new players and stuff like that, so like we can play the game, like whether it be through like Discord or another thing like Convoke. I wish Convoke worked with all games, but it doesn't. And because I want to use my actual cards. Like I got a new desk that's sitting over here. That used to be like a little square table, but now I have a full size wooden like desk, really nice sturdy desk that has enough room for me to make a separate stream area that I'm gonna use for like playing TCG stuff. But like I can only use, I mean, I guess if I'm playing Riftbound on Discord with a camera pointed at the thing and we play that way, but it doesn't work as well as Convoke does, because you can just click on the cards. Is Riftbound content gone too? Like discontinued? Discounted? What do you mean? No. It's just no, like they don't, Riftbound doesn't have like an official app or anything like that. It's only physical cards. But somebody made so that you can play Riftbound on this Rift Atlas app or this Rift Atlas website, and you could play it on what's the other thing called? TCG Arena. You could play on those two websites. And I'm generally going to play on Rift Atlas because I think Rift Atlas is probably better because it's made specifically for Riftbound. And but like the thing that I don't want to do, that I don't want to deal with, is playing random people, because like you can like find a random match. Like you can just find random match, best of one, constructed or sealed or whatever. And I don't want to deal with somebody leaving because I don't know everything about the website yet. So like it's gonna be a little rough. Like me and the other guy that played the other night, I don't know if you were here. Runeterra, yeah, right. But me and this one person, we played a match full through, like all the way through, and it was fun and I liked it, and it was easier to play with somebody who was also new, and we both were making mistakes, and so neither one of us were like hardcore trying to win. It was just like we were just trying to get through a match and have fun, and as I think we succeeded in doing that. But I need to play more matches. I wish I could play against like a computer or something, but I can't do that. So like the only thing that I really do is play against I'll usually like sit there and play against my own deck. Like I have a bunch of decks now. Like, well, they're all sealed decks. They're no decks that I made yet. But I have a Fiora deck, I have a Vi deck. I actually have 2 Vi decks, but because I wanted the booster pack out of it. And then I have the Shen and the Zed decks. I have 4 decks, and I'm like, I just want to play, right? Like I just want to play, regardless of whether I'm like losing or winning or whatever. Lock in sideboard. So I just like mess around and draw and just try to like, or like play both sides. Like if I because I want to use my cards, I play Goldfish side, and then I just do end turn or whatever. I'm like, okay, draw. Which one can I play right now? I'm gonna play Koro, and then okay, I put that out. When you conquer here, there are a lot of things to keep track of, I think, in this game. Like because like not only do you have to keep track of when you do something here, where it's like when you conquer here, if you assign 3 or more excess damage, play 1 bird token or whatever, and then whatever this does, and then what these two things do and when you need to use them. That's what, like, I'm gonna have to get used to a lot. Wait, is it like the game? Does Nico have a deck? I don't know.
Oh man, I'm getting sleepy.
Nico, it doesn't look like Nico is in the game yet. But I mean, it's not like she can't possibly come into the game later, because they're going wait, hold on. 6 months ago, I started building Rift Atlas, an ambitious fan project I might have overthought if I had tried to understand everything up front. This is how it started and what happened after people began using it, and how a project grew from there. Follow these spaces without really participating. Starting with what I knew, Next.js on Vercel for web app with Convex for the game engine and database. Bro, I wish I could just build this. I wish I could build this and or not build this. I don't want to build this. I would want to build Convoke for Riftbound. That would be fire. Is the shapeshifter one that's close? Oh, the one that turns into like a cat. She has a spear. I forgot what her name is. Nidalee. Nidalee. I don't think Nidalee. I haven't seen any Nidalee. Oh wait, Nidalee cat form. Champion unit. Nidalee legend. Copy. Paste. What? Oh, well, she has a champion unit card, but she doesn't have a legend card, which means that it won't be a Nidalee deck, because like the champion, the legend card dictates what your deck is going to be, and then you'd be able to put your Nidalee champion unit next to your legend unit as your chosen champion, and that would be your Nidalee deck. But she does. It looks like she doesn't have a legend yet. Yeah, so I mean, I have to wait till, you know, maybe next set, because the Vendetta is the set that just came out recently. So let's see. Let me change my thing to Riftbound.
Hello, fighting, remember?
Hey, Wakanda forever.
Hey.
Stand around before they fight forever.
All right. Sealed. Vendetta pre-rift. Kit. Unleashed. Current selected. Open packs. Choose your sealed format. Pick a format, open your pool, and build your deck. Save drafts. Oh? 6 booster packs, pool, 84 cards. Open packs. They have a booster pack opening thing in here to play draft. Oh, I got an Akali Legend. I have that card. I think I have that card too. Yeah, I was. I was playing a lot of Spider-Man today. But it's like either I get people. It's probably because I'm playing on PC and everybody went to PS5. But I either get people that are just way better than me, or that are not nearly as good as me. Or actually, no. Let me not say that, because like there's some people that seem to be around like my skill level, but I don't know what it is. They're just really good at mashing light, and like I'm fighting to try to control the chaos usually, and I can do that with Black Panther, but I can't do that with Spider-Man yet. But I just started playing Spider-Man today, so you know, not that bad. I just need to play more matches with Spider-Man. I have so many matches and so much lab time with Black Panther, and I just need to play with my other characters, because I got to learn everybody, all 4 of my characters. So my team is actually kind of locked in. It's Black Panther, Ghost Rider, Spider-Man, and Blade. Those are my team. I actually have this card too. Shuriken Flip signature spell. I want that card. Am I supposed to make a deck out of Jace? I have this card. Kennen champion unit. I need to go find some videos on how the decks play and like what they're supposed to do. Like, cause I just like I have these decks. 2 issues. Core deck must contain at least 25 cards, including champion. Found 0. Runes must total exactly 12. Found 0. Bro, I need 25 more cards. I don't even have. How can I draft? Must equal 12. Oh, they're just gonna give me. I can just get whatever I need. Okay. Okay, that's cool. Damn, bro. Fiora deck Riftbound.
Welcome back to Rift Lab, where we cover all things Riftbound. Our guide.
Let me grab my Fiora deck. Where is it at? I think it's in my bag.
Guide's journey next takes us to Fiora, the most feared duelist in all of Valeran. We'll be going over her multiple champion units, key signature spell, and how best to build your deck to utilize your legend ability to ramp up to late game.
I mean, I'm just playing. I just have the standard.
If you enjoy these videos, please leave us a like and be sure to subscribe to keep up with all our future content. Fiora's game plan is to play your mid-range units, then start making them mighty through buffs, abilities, or gear, triggering her legend ability to keep your mana pool high, then build up enough units to hold on to a battlefield, then win mid-range units, then keep up with all our future content. Fiora's game plan is to play your mid-range units, then start making them mighty through buffs, abilities, or gear, triggering her legend ability to keep your mana pool high, then build up enough units to hold onto a battlefield, then win the game. Her legend ability is Grand Duelist, which when one of your units becomes mighty, you may exhaust her to channel 1 rune exhausted. A unit is mighty when it has 5 or more might. We will cover this ability more in the guide, but the main thing to note is that this is different to Volibear, as it is procced when you make a unit mighty during the game, not just when it's played. Fiora combines the body and order runes, giving you access to some tough units, kill spells, and one of the best cheap buffs in the game, and strong gears. You want to play a pretty stable set of lines with this deck. Build up some small units, push them into some battlefields scoring early, then build up medium might units which will help you ramp up your runes with your legend ability. Then you'll want to pressure your opponent by pushing into battlefields and holding it with gear and spell support. This deck benefits massively from 2 specific cards, One Punch and its signature spell Riposte. This card alone makes this deck super strong. The ability to counter any spell, then give the cost of that spell as might to one of your units is exceptional. The way this spell can be utilized is endless. Stop your opponent's push with a rebuke being used on one side, to then give a unit holding the other battlefield 2 might, stopping a further planned push there. Just thinking about this card alone gives my Kaiser deck absolute nightmares. Your gears really activate some of these units. Take Lucian the Merciless for example. You can equip a BF sword, making him 6 might, equipping it for free thanks to the Weapon Master ability, move in and conquer a battlefield, then slip away as he's readied himself. You can also proc your legend ability, giving you a rune back. You can then play a first mate to ready him again, and then conquer the other battlefield, and slip away after. Fiora Worthy will likely be your chosen champion. This card gives you access to paying 1 order rune recycled to ready unit if it becomes mighty this turn. It's a fantastic way of playing your units quickly, giving a much needed tempo for such a mid-range deck. With further access to cards like Challenge, you can even punish enemy units that are sat in their base. Sabotage is a great way of giving you plenty of knowledge to play your turn out. So play this and take out any key spells that you believe your opponent may have. By doing this, you can freely move a Fiora Victorious into a battlefield like Trifarian War Camp, instantly making her mighty due to the +1 might effect, and therefore proccing your legend ability, giving you a free rune exhausted. She gets all her abilities, so later on she can then gank across and score you even more points exceptionally quick. For turn order, Fiora prefers to go first, playing her low-cost gears or units to get the score going in her favor early. Now let's go over Fiora's favourite battlefields. Trifarian War Camp. This helps make some of your units mighty straight away, or helps you hold with multiple units in the mid or late game.
Let me see, do I have a Trifarian War Camp? I don't know if I do. I do not.
It's a fantastic battlefield to use in your first game, as this is useful even when going first or second. Sunken Temple. When you conquer here with 1 or more mighty units, you may pay 1 energy to draw 1 card. This is a great way of getting through your deck, especially as you don't have many ways to draw cards. Monastery of Harana. You may spend your buff when conquering to draw a card. This is another way to draw cards, and it's clearly a theme here, but notably, you can only use it by your own deck, as not many decks do have the buff mechanic. In the early game, you want to set up your 2 energy units like Unsung Hero, or play your early gears like Warmog's Armor or Doran's Blade. If you go second, and your chosen champion is Fiora Worthy, you can also play her, but be careful into decks like Ezreal or Kai'Sa, as they can take her out quickly with spells like Bellows Breath or Falling Star. When you reach the mid game, you want to play units like Set Brawler, which can reach mights well above 10 thanks to spending his own buff and supporting spells like Cald's Glory, or gears like BF Sword. Remember, when you play Set Brawler, he gives himself a buff, so he makes himself mighty. This then procs your Fiora Legend ability, so you can spend your buff, get this buff back, and it becomes mighty again next turn. So this card alone can make a lot of use from the Fiora Legend. hence why it's a great addition to this deck. Once you reach your late game, you'll want to hold on to battlefields with units like Fiora Victorious, which can gank across when mighty, supported by spells like Punch First and Riposte. Remember to always keep one NG up to play Punch First, or at least threaten it so your opponent has to consider it when pushing into your controlled battlefields, making them potentially have to overcommit. Thanks to Fiora's legend ability, you can pay costly units like Set Brawler and spells like Punch First without falling behind in runes. You're always going to be ramping up with each mighty effect that you do throughout the game, so this allows you to get to the mid and late game pretty fast. You do have access to potentially the best counter spell in the game. Having access to Riposte makes this deck exceptionally strong on its own.
Play any time before spells and abilities. Reaction. So I can play it in any part of the chain. Choose a friendly unit and a spell. Counter that spell and give that unit plus whatever equal to that spell's energy. Oh, wow.
If you ever have 2 runes up, your opponent has to consider playing around this card, and this could be a big blow if they don't consider it. Sometimes you just need to kill an enemy unit, and you do have the opportunity to do so with access to order. You can play cards like Hidden Blade at the right time to remove a high valuable target. This deck does struggle with drawing cards, as we covered in the battlefields, so you don't have access to easy draws like some decks. So you'd have to be cautious with what spells you utilize early, as you may regret not having them later on. Abilities like Rebuke, Fight or Flight, or this new unit Overzealous Fan can be exceptionally frustrating to play into, as without access to your riposte, you can't stick to a battlefield. They're also fairly low cost to your opponent, so sometimes you don't really want to use your riposte and save it for the bigger spells later on. Let's go over some spells. Choose an opponent, they reveal their hand, and you choose a non-unit card and recycle it. Challenge. Choose a friendly unit and an enemy unit. They deal damage equal to their might this
How?
turn.
Let me see something. I need to know how. Showdown and reaction rules explained.
Riftbound reveal season is a couple days in, and people are already having ruling questions. A common discussion in the community Discord is about combat, how actions work, when cards are played, and how things interact. So let's answer some of these questions by breaking down the combat system step by step. Combat is initiated when one or more units enter a battlefield occupied by an enemy unit. The unit that entered the battlefield is the attacker. The unit that was previously there is the defender. The movement into the battlefield can be caused by anything, whether by the unit's controller or not, such as charm. If a unit from a player not involved attempts to be moved to a battlefield where combat is currently occurring, that unit is instead returned to their controller's base. For example, a Jinx Demolitionist may attempt to conquer a Grand Plaza occupied by an Ari Inquisitive and a Raven Bloom student. After combat has been initiated, a showdown begins.
Okay, let me see how I think this goes, right?
And a Raven Bloom student.
So when I attack or defend, give an enemy unit here -2 this turn to a minimum of 1. So when I attack or defend, okay. So now the Jinx has -2. It has 2. You may pay 1 as an additional cost to have me enter ready. Assault. While I'm an attacker, +2. When you play me, discard 2. Okay, so Ari is taking away 2, and Jinx is adding 2, so it stays at 4. And then Raven Bloom student, I don't remember what Raven Bloom student does. And I can't see it, so hold on. When you play a spell, give me +1 this turn. Okay. So it has 2. Let's just, for all intents and purposes, it has 2. Okay. 2 and 3 plus, 2 and 3 against the 4. I don't know why you would attack into a 5 with a 4 when you know that Ari has -2 and you have 4. Or why you would do that.
Combat has been initiated. A showdown begins.
That's a kind of a dumb way to attack.
Either when a combat occurs or when a unit enters an empty battlefield. If a unit enters an empty battlefield, they are the attacker and no units are the defender. Showdowns are broken into 3 parts. Start of showdown, attacker focus, and defender focus. Start of showdown begins with assault and shield abilities, increasing units' might. Thus, Jinx would gain 2 might. Then a chain begins, with when I attack triggers, followed by when I defend triggers. Before the chain resolves, the attacker can play a reaction, then the defender back to the attacker, in a loop until neither player plays a reaction. Effects in a chain are resolved in reverse order, meaning the last effect activated is the first effect that happens. Ari would trigger, attempting to give Jinx -2. After the chain is resolved, the attacker is allowed to play an action card. This is called focus. If they play an action card, the defender is given a chance to play a reaction. Then the attacker can play a reaction in a cycle until neither player plays a reaction. During this time, the Jinx player may play Disintegrate to deal 3 damage to Ari. Ari may respond with Wind Wall to counter the spell. After the attacker has played an action, focus is passed on to the defender, following the same pattern as the defender. During this time, Ari may choose not to play a card, in which case, focus passes back to Jinx. If Jinx were to cast a card, this cycle would continue, but if she did not, the showdown would end and the combat damage step would begin. The combat damage step starts by summing the total might of all the attacker and defender units at the battlefield. Then, the attacker and defender units assign damage to the other units based on the total. The assigned damage must agree with abilities on the field, such as tank, which makes the tank take damage equal to its might first. So the Jinx player could assign 3 damage to Ari and 1 damage to the Raven Bloom student, and the Ari player could assign 5 damage to Jinx. After combat damage is assigned, combat is resolved.
Oh, okay, so the way it works is the attacker gets to assign damage first. So she has 5, let's say she has 5 damage, right? Which, whatever. Assigns 3. I'll put 3 over there. And 1 over there. Or I could put 2 over there. Wait, what? Why would you not assign all 5 damage? What? No, it's 4, because that's 4 damage, not 5. 4.
5 damage to Jinx. After combat damage is
assigned, 5 damage to Jinx.
Combat is resolved.
So, okay, and then, so the only thing is Raven Bloom student is the thing that stays alive. So, just as an idea, if I have a Lucian, it has 3, and then there's this Jawfish and that, and then there's this, and then there's this on this side. Okay, so this, let's just say this this attacker, these 3 are the attacker, right? And then so I have 3, 3, and 5 attacking into 3 and 6. So we're gonna assign 6 damage to the Jawfish, right? And then 3 damage to Fiora. And then in defense, we assign 5 damage to Yon, 3 damage to this, and 1 to here. So these die, this dies, and this stays alive with 1 assault. Oh, while he's an attacker. Okay. This stays alive. Okay. I think I understand combat now. Or at least
Resolution
combat
begins
damage.
by sending all units with damage greater than or equal to their might to the trash. Remaining units lose all damage markers. If units from both the attacking player and defending player remain, then the defending player's units stay at the battlefield and the attacking player's units are returned to base. If the attacking player is the only one with remaining units at the battlefield, they will conquer it and gain 1 point. So Jinx and Ahri would be sent to the trash, and Ravenbloom's student would remain at the battlefield and lose its 1 damage marker. Following the resolution, any triggered effects from the death of units at battlefields occur, and then the game is returned to a neutral state. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video.
Alright. I learned something new today.
If you have any rulings, questions, or anything you learned.
Thanks. How to beat every deck. I can't stop opening Riftbound packs. I want to open Riftbound packs. I think I have Unleashed on the way. I'm gonna ask her if she ever ordered the box, because she asked me what did I want for my birthday, and I said I want this, and she said great, I'll buy it, and I don't know when it's supposed to get here. Let me look real quick. I think I don't know, man. I want to try to play Rift Atlas. I think this is it. Fiora the Worthy. Fiora the Peerless. Yeah, this is it right here. Let's get a little music. A little music. Here goes nothing. What required section champion? May pay 1 to draw 1. Okay. I'm new. New here with me. All right. Ow, ow. I'll keep this. I don't know if it's good or not, but I'll keep it. Oh wait, that's wrong. That was incorrect. I shouldn't have done that. Equip attaches to a unit. Can I just flip? Oh shit. Oh wait. Nope. Here we go. Is Cool. All right. Claim buff another friendly unit. When you play 2 Sand Soldier unit token here. 3 may equip one of your equipment to me for 1 less, even if it's already attached. The first time I conquer each turn, ready me. Attached to you control. When you play me, you may equip one of your equipment to me for less, even if it's already attached. I turn 2, 3, plus 2, so it's 5. Choose an equipped friendly unit. It deals damage equal to its might to an enemy unit, then detach an equipment from it. Target. Huh? Trash or just I'm pretty sure it's just bench. When you play me, play a 2 Sand Soldier unit token here. Equip. Oh wait, no. Cancel. Attach unit you control. When you play me, play Sand Soldier here. You buff another friendly unit. If it doesn't have a buff, it gets +1 buff. Oh. Oh, resolve. Whoops. One of your May equip one of your equipment to me for less, even if it's already attached. Hard care with one or more mighty units, you may pay 1 to draw 1. What blocking here? Oh, yeah, solution. He have ability. Oh. 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 Thank you. Oh, so he can just conquer and then run. Your ability. When showdown begins here, you may pay 1 if you do predict the revealed top card of your main deck. If it's spelled, draw it. To predict the top card of your main deck, you may recycle it. Pass. Turn. Hui. Move, draw 1, then discard 1. Okay, so when you play a spell, give me +1 this turn. This gives +2. This is 4. +3, 6. 6. That's just to a unit you control. 4. Equip. Oh, I think I did that right. And then I go here. I'm just gonna intern. Just gonna intern. I'm just kind of winging it here. When you play me, buff another friendly unit. If it doesn't have a buff, it gets +1 buff. Questions I need to ask Google about if it doesn't have a buff. Like, what does that mean? Deal 6 to each of up to 2 units. Damn. Huh? Gear stays? You conquer here with 1 more mighty units. You may pay 1 to draw 1. Kill a unit. Buff another unit. Attacker, duelist. Sand soldier. Two. When an opponent plays a unit while I'm at a battlefield, stun it. Okay. Sand soldier +3 equip. May play me to an occupied enemy battlefield. 4. You play me, buff another friendly unit. If it doesn't have a buff, it gets a +1 buff. don't think I can do that. I'm just gonna intern. I'll look at the rulings. Oh, it gives it 2. I open showdown. On first cast spell. Plus 2, right? Moonfall spell. Choose a battlefield. You have units remaining of the battlefield. And it's +2. And it's 2 all. I'm trying to. Isn't there a way to... Oh. Wait. Just 2, and then 0. And then they're dead. And then they're dead. I think I did that right. I think I died correctly. Oh wait. Oh, I don't even know if he's still here. He's probably gone. Anyway, We made it through another game. Contact Heart of the Earthbound Cannon, read guide. What felt good, rough, confusing, worth improving? Rating. So I'm gonna give it a 4, just because I'm sure most of this is me not knowing the website well enough yet. I think I would like it to be. I think I would like it to have right clicking. I feel like. Rather than it going to the trash. Or I always right click thinking I can add counters that way, or other things. But it right. Am I not signed in? Okay. We've made it through choose deck. Rengar needs update. Selected by precon. New deck. New deck. Working deck. Paste. Guide. Buy this deck on TCG Player, $11. Nah, really? I've gotten through 2 matches. I want to put something on it. So duplicate. TCG card games. But also, I need to change this. So, React Shorts, Raw Capture, Full Cam, Desk Cam, VR games. TCG card games. Riftbound Games 2. All right, it's 1 o'clock. Played some Riftbound. Visibility restricted. Why do they keep doing that? Why do they keep doing that?